Hey everyone, let's do some math. If there are 168 hours in a given week and you are asleep for 8 of those, bless you, because you clearly don't have young children at home. But if you get the sleep that is recommended for your well-being, then that means that there are 112 hours that you're conscious in a week. Assuming that for 3 of those every day you are eating breakfast, lunch, and supper, and for another one of those you are going to the bathroom and you are getting yourself showered and brush your teeth and all those things, that means that for another 28 hours you are otherwise occupied, which leaves 84 hours in a week that you are conscious and unoccupied. Now, most of us work, and for those of us that don't work, we have other hobbies that tend to consume most of our time. So let's assume that for another 8 hours a day, you are occupied by your vocation, by the thing that you are called into being to do. That means that in a given week, there are only 28 hours that are purely you time. Now, most of us have kids, most of us have families that require some semblance of attention and some semblance of care and some semblance of choosing to want to spend time with them. If we spend 3 hours a night with our significant other and our kids, that means that we have 7 hours every week. That's just our time. 1 hour per day out of the week for you to be you, for you to do what you find life-giving. Hey everyone. My name is Jared Miller, and I'm the ministry lead here at The Creek. And this series is asking the question, why should you be part of a church when there are a million other things that are going to ask for that 7 hours of your time? The reality of church is that it's a strange obligation for today's society. We live in a culture where we are programmed almost to the limit of what is healthy and sustainable for human flourishing. You have 1 hour per day to be yourself, to do what you find life-giving. And the reality of the church is that it comes along and asks you for one of those hours, to be part of a community and at a minimum expectation to sit and be present for 1 hour out of your 7. This is an enormous ask. And so often we minimize it by saying it's 1 hour out of 168. It's 1 hour out of the week, yes, but it's really 1 hour out of your 7. It's 1/7 of your time that church asks for. The reality of our time is that it is spent so quickly and so haphazardly that we never stop to think about it. But church offers us a different rhythm. Church offers us a rhythm of silence, of liturgy, of music, of singing, of listening, of growing. Church offers an investment. That the 1 hour that you spend in church, and this is not counting the hours that church might ask of you to volunteer or be part of something bigger than yourself, the 1 hour that you spend is an intentional investment. It is a recognition that there is space in your heart and in your mind and in your soul and in your being for rest. That's why church gathers on a day that has typically been referred to as Sabbath. Church is a reminder that your time is precious, and everything in our society drives us toward giving up more and more and more of our time. The reality of the pace of life in 2021 is that you don't have time not to go to church, not to pause, not to reflect, not to be part of something greater than yourself. Because if it's simply a matter of finding more margin, finding more ability, finding more capacity, that will always get consumed. Think about the first time that you got an email account for work. Think about the first time that you put email on your phone. You thought to yourself, man, this is going to make my life so much easier. Man, this is going to make everything so much smoother. I'm going to be able to keep on top of things so much better. But what happened? Our capacity for work, our capacity for output will always outstrip the time that we allotted. We send more emails now than we ever have before. We are more inundated with communication and text messages and instant replies than we ever thought possible 10 years ago. The reality of the way that our brains are wired to work is that you and I need space for rest. That space for rest actually creates more opportunities for productivity. When you and I run full bore, full out, 24/7, 365, we will always find ourselves in a position where we are just shy of burnout, where we are just shy of never having enough, of never being able to be enough, of never being able to do enough. We are running out of time all the time. The reality of church is that it invites you to take an hour where you simply stop producing, where you stop running in the rat race, where you stop being about the production and the sufficiency and the sustaining of your family or your goal or whatever it is that you sustain, whatever it is that you drive toward, whatever it is that you view as the good life, whatever it is that consumes your time. Church is an invitation to stop, to rest, to reflect, to be silent, to be alone, to be still and know that God is with you. So often we live lives that are consumed by busyness, and we never stop to think about what it means to say that we are a people who believe God is with us. We love the idea of that phrase because it means that God is everywhere. It means that we don't have to go to a building to be part of the church. And that is a wonderful, beautiful truth. God is not confined by brick and mortar or pews and pulpits. God is free to be in the world in any way, shape, or form. But we run 24/7, 365, thinking that God is with us, and we never take a second in all of it to simply stop and be with God. The reality of life is that it will always expand to fill the time that we give it. And so the message that church sends to our world is that an hour out of that week, and even 1 hour out of that 7, is a sufficient guardrail in your life to give you margin to breathe, to give you permission to stop, to give you the ability and the space to slow down the pace of life. You do not have to constantly be producing. You do not constantly have to be taking care of other people. You do not have to constantly be doing something. Church invites you to consider a better calendar, a better time frame, a better way of living. Church is a better option than our culture offers us because it is the moment that it says you can put guardrails on your life. You can put permission to say no to things into your life. Without church, all we have is our own sense of self-satisfaction. All we have is our own sense of self-gratitude and self-production and self-worth. All we have is our own self. But church invites us into a community that says it's not about any one of us. It's not about any one person. In fact, it's not about any number of people. It's about a God who came into our story, who came and died for us, who came and then rose from the grave to remind us that the worst thing is never the last thing. This good news story, this gospel message, this persistent hope is a reminder that you have permission in your life to say no to things, to be free from the burden and the masters of work and labor and slavery and servitude and indentured vocation, that you have a higher calling to simply be with God. Church is so much more than just a building, so much more than just a collection of people. Church is, as one person stated it, defined by its ability to worship, by its ability to simply gather and not produce, to be wasteful in our life with a single hour of our time. This is the reason that the author of Hebrews, one of the first century followers of Jesus, said, "It is good that you shouldn't give up meeting together." It's important that you take this time in whatever way it looks for you, whether it is virtual, whether or not you have the ability or the capacity to be in a physical place with people, it is good that we should be together. This hour, this 1/7 of our time is a better guardrail than you are going to get anywhere else in the world to be part of something greater than yourself. And so wherever you are, whatever it is that you are going through, we want you to know that you have a place in God's story. And we can't wait to share with you more about it. We hope that you will check out the link below to this video into the app in the App Store or on Google Play. And we hope that you'll subscribe to this channel. And for now, in any case, keep taking care of yourselves and keep taking care of each other. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.